First of all, praise is due to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I go by the name of Abdul Raheem. You might know me as Masikah. Hopefully you won't be using that name for long, because I've been advised by brothers who love me for the sake of Allah that I need to start phasing that name out, Masikah, because it's not about that now. I'm a servant of Allah, the most merciful. Barakallah fi. So yes, I go by the name of Abdul Raheem, so please call me by my Muslim name. Inshallah ta'ala. Barakallah fi. Yes, so basically, without going into too much detail about what life was like before Islam, and without incriminating myself, I just like to let the brothers know that I wasn't no big gangster or a big shotter or whatever you may think or may have thought or what may you have heard. This wasn't me. Today is we're nearing 2012. The youth nowadays, you know, the jahiliyyah is getting deeper. You know what I'm saying? There's more things going on. There's more people getting killed by the hands of young youth. You know, the age of wanting money is getting younger and younger and younger. You know, you're finding that from 12, 13 years old going up, the youth, they want to make peace, and we have no ways into channeling their energy into something that's good. This ain't going to be a beginning, middle and end. It's just going to be something of a reflection that once coming into Islam, once entering in Islam, I realized that the lifestyle I was living was actually a deen. I realized that, you know, the lifestyle I was living, it had its fard, it had its sunnah, it had its adhan, it had its masjid, it had exactly the same thing exactly the same things that I'm experiencing now whilst I'm embracing Islam. And I'm clicked, like, for example, the adhan for me before Islam was my phone. The reason why is because my phone is what made me money. When I had drugs and I wanted to sell these drugs to make money, to survive, to generate an income for myself, my phone meant everything to me. I could be sleeping and the adhan will go off, and then I'll answer my phone and then exchange a few words and I'm gone. That was my adhan. And then when I was sitting for, the equivalent to sitting in a durus would be me sitting down watching my all-time favorite Menace to Society, or New Jack City, or Strapped, or Clockers, or any of these old school gangster movies that used to influence me when I was a young kid. These were my durus. This is, you know, like you would sit down and have a lecture, and then you might get, you know, I don't know who you guys listen to, Sheikh Faiz or Khalid Yassin or whoever. You get your DVD, put it in, and then you sit down for a durus, or you come here and listen to Murtaza Khan for your durus. Mine was a DVD of gangsterism and killing and murder, and this is all I knew. So that was my durus. My fard was my drugs, because as far as I was concerned, is that if I don't have nothing to sell, I ain't gonna survive. So, and you know, it's fard for me to survive. So whatever comes with helping me to survive becomes fard. So if a man if I got a problem with a man on the road and he wants to kill me, it becomes fard that I have a gun. If there's a demand out there, it becomes fard that I have something to sell to him, because it means my survival. So this is how, once embracing Islam, I'm realizing that I'm leaving one deen to another deen, because the roadside is a deen, it is a religion. You know, rap music. I used to make rap music myself. The rap music was my dhikr, because as you know, even today as Muslims, if you hear a rap tune or something that you used to listen to before you was practicing properly, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're hearing is the rap song in your head. Instead of making the dua from the Muslim fortress, all you're reciting in your head is rap songs. And you find yourself, while you're doing something, or while you're, you know, ironing or cleaning or working or whatever, you find yourself playing this rap song in your head, or somebody's just driven past and you heard something from your jahiliyyah, and you know, a song from your jahiliyyah, and it's in your head. So that was my dhikr. And this is where I used to get my ilm from. You know what I'm saying? This is where I used to get my anger from. You know what I'm saying? This is where I used to get my style from, and as well as these rap songs, my shuyukh were the rappers. You know what I'm saying? D Block was my shuyukh. Mobb Deep was my sheikh. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was my sheikh. You know what I'm saying? And I used to get my ilm from these people. You know what I'm saying? These people is where I used to get my guidance from. And then once getting this guidance, this is what I used to do on the street. And everybody in my family, my brothers, my cousins, my uncles, the same thing. So I grew up in an environment where I didn't even know better. All I knew was how to do the things that I thought were the best things in life. I never knew that this lifestyle was going to lead me to eternity of doom and terror and fire. I never knew that. As far as I'm concerned, the more money that I had, the more respect I had, the more attention I had, the more people want to know, more people want to talk, more people want to, you know, more money, more problems, as the saying goes. That's all I knew. So, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah for Islam. So that's the kind of comparison that I made between the two. So I was just like a young youth running around an estate, you know, I used to play basketball, you know, running around in the schools, chasing girls in the corridors, not being in my lesson, doing all the things that, you know, generally what the youth do when they're out in the world. And then incident happened where my younger brother was murdered, and he was stabbed 6 times in his heart, in his chest, 6 times in his chest. I remember him telling me, you know, he had a little problem and whatnot, but I wasn't someone who's gonna fight his battles and whatnot. I told him, do what you have to do. If it gets sticky, then call me and I'll finish it. And obviously it didn't go down well, so, you know, he passed away. So when that happened, a lot of things changed for me. So I decided that, you know, I didn't care about anything and anybody, including myself. I'd do anything I would risk my freedom just so that I can, you know, make a bit of money. Not a lot of money, make a bit of money. I hurt a lot of people outside on the street, which I shouldn't have done, which today, you know, I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives me with my shahada from those things that I did. So alhamdulillah for the deen. So when I became Muslim, I took shahada. I took shahada while I was doing a sentence in prison, and I didn't really know much about Islam. I was looking into it. I opened the Quran. I was reading what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying about the hellfire, and I just said, you know, this is not for me, and I just put it back on the shelf, and then just kept it moving. But it was just like something that just kept going back and forward. Opened the Quran. I just took my shahada, and then when I came out, I decided to do my research. I decided to find out what is this thing that what I've really embraced, because then I had more information around me. After finding out that, after building up my yaqeen, my certainty that this is the truth, after that I decided that the things that I was doing, I have to really abandon it. Like I read in a part of the Quran, to enter into Islam wholly, you know, and leave all the jahiliyyah behind you, leave all the ignorance, all the things that you used to do behind you. I found this really difficult to do, and even today I'm still taking steps. To shedding away all the things that I used to do. The major stuff that I used to do, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it easy for me, but there are some things that are fitna for me, like music, you know, like women, lowering the gaze, all of these kind of things. These things just stay with you, and it's a constant battle. But my advice is that those who are Muslim, who are born Muslim, you don't understand how beautiful this deen is that you have, that your parents as well, that your parents are Muslim, you know, that you can make dua for your mum, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer your dua for your mother. You can make dua for your father, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer your dua for your parents. My mother isn't Muslim, and nobody around me was Muslim. I had to find out this deen myself, and I read things like Malcolm X, and I saw like some people becoming Muslim, and also with the falling of the Twin Towers, that just made Islam more stand out more and more recognizable to me. So now today, as I'm a Muslim today, I realize that a lot of the things that I used to do in Jahiliyyah, that the Muslims today are leaving their Islam to do what I used to do in Jahiliyyah, and I can't understand it at all. People come to me and they say to me, they ask me about all the old music that I used to do, or all the things that I used to do in the past, and I'm saying to them, why don't you teach me something from Islam? Why don't you teach me something from the deen? You know, you was born Muslim. What happened to your deen? What happened to your Islam? They don't want to hear that. They want to wear their trousers low. Like Murtaza Khan said, they don't want to know that. And I find it a phenomenon that people are leaving their deen. Their parents, they got Islam in their house, and they're leaving that, and they're going to the roadside to do, and then they're calling man like me and others who, you know, left this lifestyle to come and help them out in things that they are doing on the street that they shouldn't have been doing in the first place. You see, these kind of things confuse me. And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant me the opportunity to go to Saudi and hold on, let me take a juice. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me an opportunity to go Saudi and to make Umrah, and I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts that from me. And one of the things that I encourage the brothers to do, yeah, aside from, to be quite honest, I'm not really affluent in speech and talking about how I came to Islam, my Jahiliyyah. I don't really like to talk about it, but one thing I can say is that every brother here should be stacking their peas aside to go Umrah and go to Saudi. This, you know, go to Masjid An-Nabawi. You know, I carried coffins on my shoulder and ran to the back of the compound. You know, buried people within 2 minutes. Khalas, his deeds cut off everything. They put the man in a hole. They throw all the dirt on him. Within 2 minutes, all you see is a cloud of dust, and then the floor is leveled. Khalas, that's finished. And then you're holding. You can feel the person because he's only wrapped in a I think it's called a kafan or a type of cloth, and you can feel the man that's in there. It's not like a box. You can feel the person in there when you put him in the ground, and you just think, listen, you have to reflect on yourself. You're walking past the graves, and there's some Sahaba there, you know, and there's it's just when you're burying somebody, you think about yourself being buried. You know what I'm saying? This is like, there's so much death that they hide it from here, but there's so much janazas in Saudi that I almost memorized the dua for the janaza. You know, that's how many janazas there were, and it was definitely beneficial. So I call all the brothers to put aside your pee, and the mentality that I had, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm married, I have children, you know, I've left the lifestyle of promiscuity and whatnot, but I had to level my mind and say, you know what, forget about everything. I'm stacking my peas to go Saudi. I don't care what's going on, what's falling down, who's getting hurt or whatnot. I'm stacking my peas to go Saudi, and I'm calling every brother to do that. Stack your peas at 8 bills to go out there, 6 bills, put 300 aside, go Saudi. And then another thing that I'm calling the brothers to do is to go and study. Wallahi, I feel da'if when I'm here, struggling just to find a small lecture here and there, struggling just to find a student of knowledge like Abdullah. Mashallah, when I met him in Saudi and he was doing the 40 hadith, I know he was doing a course out there in Saudi, in Mecca. Very beneficial. Like down here, struggling just to find a little thing like that. Like, I call all the brothers, go and study. Take your peas. If you're not married and you don't have you don't have a woman in your ear, say, oh, where you going? Where you going? Just put your money aside. Go Egypt. Go, you know, go over the water and go and study. Get your head down and get the Lughat Arabiya. But the reason why I say this is that how can we call ourselves Muslims and today we don't even understand what we're saying in the Salah?
You know what I'm saying? You make sujood. Wallahi, I learned one small dua from the Muslim fortress for when you go into sujood, and I learned it and I wrote it on a board. Like, I bought myself a big white wet board. I wrote it down and I put the English with it, and then I learned it and understood it. And when I made sujood, I really felt like I was asking Allah personally, forgive all my sins, the first, the last, the apparent, the secret sins, you know, the heavy sins, the light sins. Forgive all my sins, you know. Glory be to the one who created my face, you know, who created my hearing, my eyes. And I understand the du'as that I'm saying in Arabic. Priceless. Priceless. Do you know how much of our deen that we're missing just because we don't have the Lughat al-Arabiyyah? You know what I'm saying? We have to go to the Tasfir of Ibn Kathir just to get a taste. This is why every time after Ramadan, brothers are cussing because they don't know what the Imam is saying when he's reciting, and everyone is crying because they understand what's going on, but it's not penetrating your heart because you don't know, you don't understand what's going on. You only understand a fraction. So get your Medina book course, or get your Baina Yadayk, or whatever it is what helps you to grasp the language of the Quran, and start from today. I've been working on it for like 2-3 years and I'm still on the basics. You know what I'm saying? But there's still enough for me to have a small bit of understanding. And just with that, it increases the iman. Wallahi, it increases the iman. The khushu, when you're standing in salah, it's priceless because you understand what you're saying. You're talking to Allah, you understand what dua, you're selecting the right du'as, what to use for certain situations. You know, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you understand what the names mean, and then you're using them in your dua. You know what I'm saying? This is priceless. So invest in it, because it will be for you on Qiyamah, on the last day. Another thing that trying to build within myself is to conceal my sins. Very important to conceal the sins. So if you smoking is something that is it's a habit, yeah, and it's very difficult to just bam, class, stop. You know, only a few people can do that. Yeah, if you're a Muslim and you smoke, you need to conceal your sins. We need to conceal our sins. If you're a Muslim and you drink or you have a problem with women, we need to conceal your sins and keep them. And wallahi, there's hikmah in it, because if you commit a sin and you've concealed it, then it's easier for you to make tawbah for it. But if you're openly sinning, it's difficult, because the people now know what you're about. You know what I'm saying? The people now know what sins you're about and how you are as a Muslim. Conceal your sins wherever it is, wherever it might be. That's my advice. And also to keep the company. One thing that's helped me, alhamdulillah, like I linked up with a brother and we started doing this Roadside to Islam thing, and it's been very beneficial for me, because now I've put myself in a position where there's all eyes on, there's people watching me and watching what I do. So when I talk, and I can't be a person of hypocrisy, I have to maintain and be what I talk about. So all the things that I'm telling you about is not something that I don't do myself. It's something that I've benefited from myself, and I'm calling others to go and benefit from themselves. So those are the points that I wanted to put by you, and also the company that you keep, like what Brother Murtaza Khan said. The company that you keep is very important. You know, you hang around with someone that smells like weed, you're gonna smell like weed yourself, even if you don't smoke it. Keep the company of those who remind you about death, because when you're reminded about death, it puts you on your P's and Q's. When you follow the janazah, it puts you on your P's and Q's. It gets you in the mode for trying to work for. Today, I tell you wallahi, today I'm all about my deeds. I'm all about my deeds. I've almost had fights with brothers in the restaurant just to pay for the food. You know, when you want to pay for the food and you want to get the reward. I'm all about my deeds today, because right now there's nothing more realistic to me than my deeds, my hasanat. You know, and it's only today I realized that maybe my sins might be higher than my reward, than my good deeds. Because when I do a good deed, I hang on to that good deed. Like, yeah, I remember that good deed, but I commit so many sins I can't even remember the first to the last one. I ask everybody here, when was the last time you sinned? You know what I'm saying? And no, I don't think anybody would be able to say just yesterday. It would either be an hour ago or half an hour ago. You might have just come off the high road. The high road out there is rage. You know, so, you know, it's difficult to lower your gaze. We're all sinning. You know what I'm saying? I encourage brothers to fast on Mondays and Thursdays. Wallahi, you know, I can't really talk about it because I don't want to expose anything. But I met a brother who, in his jahiliyyah, he was serious. Like nothing like me. I'm just little man me. This brother was serious. Yeah. And today, and we had a little talk, and he exposed his deeds, and he said, you know, I fast on Monday and Thursday. And I was like, what? And then I met another person, and I'm thinking, and then I read in the Quran, it said, wasabiqun, it's Surah Al-Waqiyah, the ones that are foremost. And I was thinking, like, in Jahiliyyah, I never really liked people to be ahead of me. I always wanted things that they had and more, so that I'm ahead of them. But I don't want to be sitting here, and then this brother, he's done more deeds than me, and he's ahead of me in a better place than me. I want to be ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm starting hearing, like, just randomly, like, Monday and Thursday, it's like, it feels like everyone's fasting on Mondays and Thursdays apart from me. You know what I'm saying? Wallahi, Aki, ikhwa, Mondays and Thursdays, man. Do you know, Maghrib is very early. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to get it in now. It's easy to get it in, and the nights are long. I was sitting in a dars with Abdul in Saudi, and he was saying the tahajjud. You know what I'm saying? Get the tahajjud in, even if it's just 2 rakat. Even if it's just 2 rakat before you go to sleep. Get it in. Because those are the things you're struggling. Those are the things that are going to be for you on the final day. The final day when it's peak, when people are putting their sins on you. Not even taking they're putting their sins on you. You're bankrupt. You don't have nothing to give. They're putting their sins on you. You know what I'm saying? This has to be a reality. If it's not a reality for you, then Allah knows best where we're going to be. Another thing I want to warn the brothers is that there's a lot of brothers that we know that are doing rap music. Yeah? There's a lot of brothers in the rap industry openly, like, you know, they're Muslim and they're doing rap music. Brothers, keep away from this. These are not the people to look up to. Yeah? If anything, just advise them privately. Advise them and keep advising them, but don't get sucked into whatever it is that they do, because you'll find that it'll rub off of you, especially if you're a person who's from a music background. Actually, the brothers are the best at everything. They're the best in the deen, they're the best in jahiliyyah, you know what I'm saying? They're the best in the rap game, they're the best in everything. Me coming from a music industry, me seeing brothers doing music, this is for me, I need to keep away from them because I can get sucked in. But advise the brothers if you see them. Don't squeeze them and squash them low and tell them, you're out the fold of Islam, and you know, this is haram, Aki, what you're doing, and you know what I mean. Just be sincere. For me to stop doing music, all the people that were close around me, they couldn't give me the dawah under the sun. But there was one man who gave me that, who sat down with me, and he didn't know that I did music. And when I told him that I did music, his face changed, and he said, Aki, what are you trying to jeopardize your paradise? What are you trying to do? Like, you really like, he just made it seem so small. Like, is this what you do? Like, you rapping? You know what I'm saying? But the way that he had me because we were sitting in the car, the way that he had me soft. Like, it softened my heart, and from then it just took that, and that was it. I stopped doing music. Alhamdulillah, I stopped doing music. I separate myself from music. But it's a fitna that I'm fighting with today. So I'm saying to the brothers, be nice to your brothers in Islam. Don't be harsh to your brothers in Islam. And have hikmah when you're advising people. And be smart when you do it. Because some of the brothers, they want to follow the deen. But when the brother moves away from Islam, first of all it takes is that, alright, cool, I'm a Muslim, I don't want to sell drugs, I don't want to rob people, so the only thing that I can make money without harming no one is do music. So I'm gonna do my rap thing. But if somebody's practicing more than them, and then the shaitan makes that person feel that they can't come to the Muslims. The shaitan said, you can't go to him. He thinks he's better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this guy he thinks he's practicing, you know, he's wearing his kufis, his trousers above his ankles, he thinks he's better than me. Like, keep away from these guys, you get me? So you gotta have hikmah when you're advising these people. And what else was I gonna mention? I think that's all I was gonna mention. Those are the things that I can't mention, things that I'm not doing myself. So those are the things that I'm doing myself, brothers. And I hope that it benefits you. I hope that, you know, you do fast Mondays. Like, we're in the month of Muharram. You know, it's 1433 after Hijrah, right? Today, is it today? Yeah, or yesterday by Maghrib? Yeah, from Maghrib yesterday. So Ashura is coming up. You know, the best. This is the best month to fasting. One of the best months to fasting. You know what I mean? So try and do that. Try and fast and try and keep up the Mondays and Thursdays. The people of the Salaf never used to let go of these things. They never used to let go of tahajjud. They never used to let go of the witr prayer as well. Something that we all neglect. We just bang the isha and go sleep. We all neglect the witr. You know what I mean? So I'm calling all your brothers just to, inshallah ta'ala, that nasiha, that reminder benefits you. And that's all I am for today. That's all I do for today, is that I try to remind people with things that benefit me, and that's it. Inshallah ta'ala. So barakallah fiqh. I hope you guys benefited from it. I hope I didn't bore you guys, inshallah ta'ala. And hopefully I'll be invited up here again to see you guys again, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallah fiqh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.